Greetings, friends. So I wanted to do a part 2 of this video because there's a whole lot that I learned from scouting this wealthy neighborhood. What I'm doing is, for those of you who haven't watched part 1, please go ahead and watch part 1 so you understand what I'm doing right now. The purpose of being here is to scout where these wealthy people hang out, how they behave, and how they spend their time, where to find them. Because they're very elusive. They're not just gonna come hang out in your neighborhood like that. You gotta go to their neighborhoods and look for them. They live in their own little bubble. Everything outside these little bubbles, they don't know anything. They probably don't even know your neighborhood exists. All they know is this little bubble, and it's cozy. This little bubble is so cozy, I have no idea, okay? So here are a couple of things that I learned by being here. I already mapped out where the churches are. I'm a Christian, so what I was looking for were specifically churches, so that's what I'm gonna focus on, because we're also in the South, so there are more churches than mosques, generally speaking, in the Atlanta area. Because a lot of people in this region are religious, but if you live in a neighborhood that is a Jewish neighborhood, look for those synagogues or temples. Or if you're Muslim, look for the mosques around those rich areas and join those communities. So in this shopping complex, but it's more high-end, you tend to find these in exclusive rich neighborhoods. So in Atlanta, there's Buckhead, there's Alpharetta, Peachtree Corners, Swanee. All these rich neighborhoods have a forum like this one. A lot of boutique stores, a lot of fancy cafes, so that the people that live in this neighborhood, instead of them going to the city, they just do everything in this little mini mall. They don't even have to go to the big malls that a lot of you guys go to. You won't see them there because they understand people. They understand that majority of problems come from people. So they tend to avoid people and crowds. They like exclusivity. First thing I learned is a lot of these wealthy people, they don't drive luxury cars like that. You'll see the kind of cars that are parked around here. They're just basic Subarus, Hondas, and it's not gonna be a fancy luxury car. They don't care about stuff like that. They don't care too much about material liabilities. Instead, what they care about is quality of life. A millionaire will be riding around or driving around in just a basic Honda, but they splurge on everything else, like quality of life. Because they value their time so much, they would rather outsource a lot of the tasks, day-to-day tasks, because they value their time, because they understand that time is money. When I went to the cafe, I'll put a picture here. When I went to the cafe, the fancy cafe in this complex, I only spent about $14.34. And I got a coffee, cup of coffee, and a tiramisu. So it wasn't too bad. I thought I was gonna come out of pocket like $40. I was kind of panicking a little bit. But it was only $14. That's not bad. Here's the game that I learned by just sitting there at the cafe. I think I sat there for like an hour. I noticed that people treat you differently when you present yourself in a different way. When you carry yourself, good-looking women know what I'm talking about. People even open doors for you and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa, I've never had somebody open the door for me. Literally every spot that I've gone to in this area, people are just opening doors for me. And they probably got more money than me. It's crazy. So as I was sitting there, I noticed there were these high school kids jogging. So it was around like 3:30, so I guess school was over. These high school kids were jogging, and I read the name of the school on their shirts. So I know what the name of the high school is. And what I did was I Googled the name of that high school. It turns out that high school is a private high school, a very expensive private high school. So it gave me an idea. Expensive private high schools are the perfect hunting ground for high-end clients. Let me explain to you how you can pull this one off. Start following them on social media. As you start following them on social media, you're gonna discover that they have these events for family, friends, like basketball games, they'll have potlucks. These are rich people with money and they got family. Everything is centered around families. When they have these school events, and some of you who have kids in school, you already know what I'm talking about. They have these school activities like sports events where parents can actually attend and cheer on their kids. Even if you don't have a kid at that school, it's okay because there are going to be ways that you're going to be able to get in. And once you find a way in, figure out a story. You got to do whatever it takes to get in. But of course, you got to be very presentable. You're going to start to do the same strategy that I'm doing, which is peacocking. When you're dressed sharp, people treat you differently. So when you're attending these events, people treat you accordingly. They'll become friendly to you. They start volunteering information to you. This blows me away. When you're applying pressure, people are keen to volunteer information to you. It's the wildest thing I've ever observed. Human beings are very judgmental. We are always judging each other. Before somebody even opens their mouth to start talking to you, they've already read you from head to toe. Because they're trying to read you. We are all walking billboards out here. If you are not presentable, then people are not going to take you seriously. Second, you want to start doing window shopping in a place like this. There are boutiques here. There are fancy stores here that sell little trinkets. Start doing window shopping in these weird stores that you never heard of. They're brands that I discovered just from window shopping in this area that I didn't even know existed. Major fancy brands. They're super boutique. Maybe it's just one of one store. And it's run by some guy who's worth a lot of money, and all he wants to do is just run a store because it's a hobby. Rich people can do stuff like that. Rich people can do cool stuff that me and you can never do. I discovered nail and care beauty bar. Now this is for the ladies. And if you're married, you can do the same thing that ladies already do. You ladies, you are used to going to get your nails done. You already have a routine. You've got your regular spot that you go to already, close to your neighborhood, close to your crib. What I'm saying is challenge yourself to look for a place like this. And then start going to that nail bar frequent. It's going to be super uncomfortable, I promise you. Because maybe the price is going to be double from what you used to pay, down the street from your house. But I promise you, the gain you're gonna get from just being a regular in that spot is priceless. Let me explain to you why. And ladies, you know what I'm talking about here. Fellas, listen up. When you go to these fancy nail bars and nail salons, they are very relaxed, especially in a rich neighborhood. In the struggle neighborhoods, like people have got bad attitudes, the customer service sucks. When you come to a spot like this one, the customer service is next level. They're always smiling because they're not stressed about money like that. They don't have problems that me and you have, you see. So eventually they're going to open up to you, especially when you're applying pressure. When you go to these places, make sure you're presentable. Again, once you go there 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, by the 3rd time, they're going to know who you are and what your name is. Remember what I said. You want to be attracting instead of chasing. As they start to open up to you, the conversation will lead to, so what do? It always does. It always does. That's when you need to be ready with your 30-second pitch. Who do you help? And how do you help them? And how do you deliver the most value? How do you present yourself as the best of the best agency in town? These people are craving quality. They're craving value because they can afford it. They don't care how much you're going to charge them. Are you the best? They'll pay for that. I noticed there's a Barnes & Noble here. So I went in. People are social. Even though, we tend to ignore each other, especially, here in America, people don't really talk like that. But in high-end areas like this one, people are not very stressed out. Even the employees that work in areas like this, they're not too stressed out. So you can have an opportunity to ask an employee, you can ask one of the employees in there where old people hang out. Just be blunt with it. Make up something. Be like, I'm looking for a book, whatever it is. And I'm just curious, where do really old people with money hang out? And they'll tell you, especially when you're applying pressure, they'll volunteer information. I'm telling you. And of course, have a follow through when you're asking a question like that. Know how to start a conversation, open up, because these people know so much about the happenings of this area, especially somebody who works at a Barnes and Noble, because they understand the area really well. They know, okay, the rich old people hang out over here. So do that. That's a strategy right there. Practical. I saw an art gallery. I know, random, right? It's like a fancy art gallery, and the art is pretty dope. It's really good. I walked in there, and everybody just seems relaxed. There was two old guys just hanging out, chilling, and then we just started a conversation. And then I know for sure if I come in there next week, they're gonna remember who I am. I made sure that I'm gonna remember their face, and I'm gonna remember their names, because I asked them what their names are, and they gave me their names. So next time, I'm just gonna show up and say, hey, listen, I came again to. I'll come up with a story, because I'm not trying to buy their art just yet, right? I just come up with a story and say, hey, listen, I just came to check out your art because I told my friends about this art, and can I take a picture of this art so they can check it out, so they can know where your store is? And then these guys were like, yeah, cool, take a picture or whatever. And then, it sparks a conversation again. Eventually, I promise you, eventually, they're gonna ask you, oh, so what do you do? Boom, the 30-second pitch. Lastly, if you're a married couple, do your very best to kind of do these activities together, because I'm telling you right now, you are going to do very well as a team. Especially if you're in a good marriage and you get along, you know how to apply pressure together. I'm telling you, the energy is going to be a magnet, even more than those guys that are single, those folks that are single. You're gonna get the energy back, but you gotta be applying pressure. Those are some practical ideas. Please put in the work. This is the time for you guys to shine. This is the time. I hope you got some value from this video. Be sure to schedule some time. Link in the description of this video if you're ready to learn some practical ideas on how to start your agency, how to complete your application process, and most importantly, how to find these high-end clients and apply serious pressure. See you in the next video.